Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to unpack one of the most fascinating and, let's be real, frustrating mysteries of human connection. If you've ever felt that inescapable friction in a modern relationship, you know the feeling, right? That sudden, baffling exhaustion when two people who genuinely love each other just can't seem to get on the same page. Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to dive deep into the hidden architecture of love. It's a highly relatable modern problem, isn't it? You try your absolute hardest, your partner tries their hardest, yet somehow someone is always left feeling like they're just coming up short. That deep exhaustion sets in, and you're left wondering, why does this have to feel so incredibly difficult? Well, today, we are going to act as investigators. We're going to trace this deep relational exhaustion all the way back to its hidden childhood roots, using a brilliant systemic framework to figure out what's really going on beneath the surface. Okay, let's dive into this incredible premise. The blueprint of how you love wasn't written in the relationship, it was only revealed by it. Think about that for a second. The struggles you're facing in your romantic life right now, they weren't actually drafted in your current relationship. Your relationship is simply the spotlight revealing a blueprint that was drawn up decades ago in your family of origin. Before there was ever a partner, there was a family system.
Section 1. The original architecture. Let's take a look at where this all starts.
Let's look at this systemically, and I want to be clear right off the bat. We are doing this entirely without placing any blame on your parents or your partner. We're simply looking at the original architecture of your emotional world. Here's how the system works. In childhood, an emotional gap can occur. Now, biological survival literally requires a child to believe that their parent, their primary source of life, is fundamentally good. If the parent isn't good, the kid's entire world collapses. So what happens when there's an emotional gap? The child can't possibly blame the parent. Instead, they are forced to suppress the pain of that unmet need just to survive and maintain the bond. But here's the catch. That suppressed pain doesn't just poof, vanish into thin air. It gets stored. Think of it like a dormant computer program. Actually, scratch that. It's more like an app running quietly in the background of your phone, just draining your emotional battery. It is an unsettled emotional bill, an open loop, sitting there, waiting for the exact right conditions to finally complete its unresolved equation. Which brings us to Section 2, Understanding the Mother Wound. Let's see how this builds into the first specific type of hidden program. And again, I want to be crystal clear here. Having a mother wound does not mean you had a bad mother. Not at all. Systemically, it's basically a glitch. It is the gap created when the maternal function, that profound sense of unconditional safety, deep acceptance, and emotional attunement was not fully received. That foundational feeling of I am entirely safe here was left slightly unresolved, which leaves that open program constantly scanning the horizon for safety.
All right, let's switch gears a bit. Section 3. What is father hunger?
Mentally prepare yourselves, because we are transitioning to a slightly different kind of emotional gap. We're moving from the search for safety to the search for something else entirely. Now, what's really interesting about this is that a child with father hunger didn't necessarily have traumatic or bad experiences. They might have had a perfectly fine childhood on paper, but what they missed was that crucial confirming look, that firm, affirming gaze that provides recognition and direction, the look that tells a child, I see you, you are capable, and you are absolutely good enough. Without that, a totally different kind of background program starts to run.
Notice the profound contrast here. It's fascinating. The mother wound creates an adult who is fundamentally seeking a safe harbor. They desperately want unconditional acceptance. But the father hunger? That creates an adult who is seeking an approving audience. They want their capability and direction recognized and validated. These are two very different unmet needs, generating two very different relational drives. And before we go any further, we absolutely have to look at how gender plays into this, or rather, how it totally doesn't. These wounds are completely gender agnostic. It's not about whether a man or a woman carries the wound, it is entirely about which parental function they missed out on. A man with a mother wound seeks unconditional safety just as fiercely as anyone else. A woman with father hunger will relentlessly seek validation, often driving herself through immense career success just to finally get that feeling of being enough. The wound doesn't care about your gender, it only cares about the missing function.
Moving on to Section 4. Reactivation in love.
So we all grow up, right? We become adults, we hit the dating world, and we fall in love. But what exactly happens to those hidden background programs? Well, here's the harsh but necessary truth. Adulthood stops literally nothing.
Turning 25, 30, or 40 doesn't magically close the computer program. Instead, the program simply seeks a new host. When you get into a romantic relationship, the pure proximity, intimacy, and vulnerability automatically reactivate the exact same neurological circuit that was active with your parent. It's not a conscious choice. Your brain simply says, intimacy, yes, this is my chance to finally settle that old bill. And this brilliantly illustrates how it plays out in real time. A partner with a mother wound will unconsciously test their lover. They'll push boundaries, constantly seeking proof of unconditional support because they're terrified of abandonment. Meanwhile, a partner with father hunger will look to their lover for constant validation of being enough. They might perform, achieve, or show off, just hoping to finally get that affirming gaze. They are unconsciously demanding fulfillment based on very specific past gaps.
All of this builds up to Section 5, the wound dance. What happens when two adults, both carrying their own open background programs, bring their unfulfilled childhood blueprints into the exact same living room? You get this, the wound dance. This is the absolute peak of our psychological reveal. It's the clash of two unresolved programs. It's what happens when the honeymoon phase fades out and the background software completely takes over. Both partners are suddenly, unconsciously, trying to use each other to heal a gap that was created decades before they even met.
This dynamic explains exactly why relationships can become so deeply, utterly exhausting. Both partners project their unfulfilled parent needs onto each other. Both are demanding something the other cannot possibly give. And tragically, nobody is playing the role of the adult. Nobody is the complete, mature parent in the dynamic, because secretly, deep down, both partners have reverted to playing the role of the waiting child, just hoping the other one will save them.
So the crucial point is this: your partner feels like they are never enough, and you feel like you are never enough, because the bar isn't being set by your current relationship. The bar is being set by the past. You are measuring your mortal, flawed, beautiful human partner against a standard that was originally meant for a parent-child bond. You are basically asking an equal romantic partner to be a perfect, unconditional parent, and that is simply an impossible standard. I really want to leave you with this profound thought to reflect on. Without an ounce of blame, without any defensiveness, just take a look at your own relational blueprint. When the friction hits, when that deep exhaustion sets in, ask yourself, in this exact moment, are you expecting your partner to be an equal lover by your side, or are you secretly asking them to be the unresolved parent from your past? Understanding that difference changes absolutely everything. Thanks so much for exploring this hidden architecture with me. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.